So starting off front page review with The Nation, major headline is not a smiling story. Petrol scarcity brings back queues to Lagos, Abuja and other cities. The NNPCL blames it all on distribution hitches. In other news, lobbying for IG Egbetoku's seats hots up. Uncertainty in police. Why food prices are dropping by farmers and traders. Utomi Amosu clash over ex-governor's policies. Ayedatiwa pledges more bites for Amoteco core, and experts project oversubscription for the federal government's $500 million bond offer. So what are we starting with? The scarcity of petrol or food prices dropping? Yeah, good. And
okay, so farmers and traders are attributing food prices, the drop in prices to harvest. So some farmers and traders are saying that, this is our current harvest season. That tells to it, but we don't see the retail end of it happening. And so they spoke to the news agency and said that this was also as a result of sufficient rainfall. We don't have rainfall in the southwest yet, but they have up north. And this was the National Secretary of the National Fish Association of Nigeria, Mr. Chidike Uko. He said some of the food prices were coming down. Purchasing power of most people is still low, but there's availability of food. Also, the National President of Nigeria Women Agro-Allied Farmers said the drop in prices was due to the harvest season. Also, the federal government, she also urged the federal government to ensure prompt release of farm inputs to farmers for improved production. But when you see the retail end, I took this story particularly because I was still discussing it over the weekend. Tomatoes have dropped in prices. The basket is no longer 80,000, it's no longer 100 and something thousand, it's about 50,000 now for a basket or a crate. But it's still 500 naira for that small retail.
They've not brought the plate back to 200.
Those ones did not see the drop in prices. The thing about Nigeria, we all ask our government to do their own, but we never do our own. So it's still as expensive for the low-end consumer as it is. So those of us who like to buy in bulk would have escaped that end, but how many people would do that? Some people are used to daily cooking and buying per weekend. So.
And they don't have storage facility. So
I have the fuel scarcity.
Okay.
This morning, first, even coming to work, by God. Traffic because of the fuel. At first, I was worried because I had to take like Anthony, and there was like a long queue. I was wondering where it was from. It was all the way.
Station.
Anyway, the reports are also saying that there were long queues of vehicles yesterday at few filling stations selling petrol in Lagos and in Abuja. They said many state capitals across the country were also, they had the same thing. They said major roads in Lagos were empty because motorists did not have petrol to move around. NNPCL has attributed the scarcity of the product to a distribution glitch. They say it's temporary. Nigerians should not do any panic buying. It will be over very soon. I hope they have seen what the queues look like this morning. Prices range from 840 to 1,000 naira per liter. The report shows, different places that, had this scarcity. So as I said, in Lagos, they talked to a few people who said they bought theirs from this. I think here they said, first, of course, in Lagos, as we know, immediately we will see the repercussion. They said it rose from 300 to 400. That's commuters going to Iyano, Ipaja, Ikotun.
Transportation prices has gone up.
Transportation price, of course. Abuja as well, issues like that. In Plateau State, too, I think they said they bought for 900 per liter. A lot of people said they could not buy. Many of the fuel stations were closed. They said an anonymous witness said that what they feel is that a lot of people are expecting the supply from the Dangote refinery. So a lot of the marketers are holding on to their products because they don't want the crash that may come with the supply of the products that come from the refinery. So they believe that that is why that's happening. Of course, NNPCL is just saying that it's a distribution glitch. We'll see. Hopefully, this thing is cleared by today. Jigawa, 950, Enugu, 880 to about 920. But they said black market, some of them were buying for 1,300. Or your state, the same thing anyway. In Ebonyi, they said they got theirs between 830 to 850. So, and then black market at 900. For many people, they're like, I can't even afford it. I've kept my car at home. So we'll see how this, pans out today. Hopefully, the queues
I need a miracle to get fuel. I've been trying.
Transportation will still be high, even if you leave your car.
Yeah.
You want to Uber anything, it's still at a high cost.
Some people are saying we're at home.
Okay, so I have...
We're not going anywhere, we dey house.
So I have Vice President Shettima has urged heads of government agencies to be guided by the extant provisions that establish the organizations. The Vice President spoke at the weekend in Abuja during a one-day retreat organized for the heads of government agencies and state house managements under its supervision ahead of its issuance of the core circular for the commencement of next year's budget, 2025's budget. Yes. Declaring the retreat open, Shettima was presented by Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Ibrahim, emphasized the importance of adhering to the set objectives initiated by the State House management, particularly in institutionalizing e-governance to improve operations. The Vice President also hailed the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, for participating in the retreat and making an insightful presentation, which he titled, I like this one, Delineation of Roles and Functions between the Management and the Agency and its Supervising Entity, a prerequisite for good relationship and effective delivery of mandates. Yes, and then he also said that these regulations can be quite tedious, but then the Permanent Secretary at State House was right when he also said that the issues, if not tackled, that will always come back, because I can remember when he was in Senate Public Accounts Committee, that he was called upon by the Auditor General to answer certain questions, and that so other people will be called upon to answer certain questions if certain things are not done properly within the organizations. Because he said that all these are in order for us to drive the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because it has become necessary to synergize within the State House and all the agencies under its control. So I think this is a good one, and if they follow it through, it will also help with checks and balances within all organizations of the country.
Oh, let me quickly take the story of Governor Patutomi giving his own account of when something similar happened with between him and Governor Musu in respect to the fact that the former governor of Ogun State contravened the breach in contract, which has led to the embarrassment of what happened with our own presidential jets being held. It's being held right now. He said that he also had a contract with the government that he had paid 200 million naira in partnership with his investors from South Africa. And when he approached the governor to say, let's fulfill these contracts that we had, agreement we had with the previous administration, it didn't happen. That's why all these things are happening, that not just this case. And when he had the conversation, he went there, had a conversation, even appealed to other stakeholders. He mentioned names, the current president, who wasn't president then, and BC Akonde, to try and appeal to let him just, let's fulfill the agreement that the governor, then governor, ex-governor now, told him to request for a refund of the money, and that he should first ask for 100 million. If he doesn't get it, it will be better, he should just collect that 100 million rather than being in courts for so long. So the consequence of the ex-governor, not according to Patutomi, Professor Patutomi, the consequence of the governor not consistently following through with the contract his previous administration did is why we're having this issue. If he had gone to court and everybody in breach of contract had gone to court, honestly, the entire state would probably shut down. And I think it's something worth having a conversation about.
In the Vanguard and in the Sun, the account of the governor himself.
Yes.
I'm surprised that, the professor himself is meshed in something of this nature. So the governor insists that he had, gotten a contract to use a part of a property outside the state, belonging to the state. And the prof had, rushed it because there was a change in administration and insisted on being paid. He offered him 100 million, but he was forced to part with 200 million settlement funds. So it's one person's story against the other. Really, it's not neat.